Hi everyone, welcome to the very first tutorial video of our summer session class in digital imaging. So what today I'm going to do is talk about in step-by-step fashion how we can proceed with the very first assignment, which is pretty basic, I know, and I know by the third or fourth week you'll look back on this and you'll kind of laugh at it because it's so simple, but it does speak to some of the basics that we need to be familiar with. Okay, so if we look at at the artboard, okay, we'll see that first of all, this video doesn't include the panels that I spoke of during our class session. It's just simply cropped to show the artboard. Okay, because that's all we really need for the very first assignment, as well as the image menu up above and the tools. Okay, so if we look at it carefully, we can see that across the top, Photoshop has a whole series of menus. Okay, and then they even go beyond window, which is cropped off. And then it has a toolbox. Okay, and there are in very college classes that have Photoshop levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so, considering that there's only so much we're going to be able to get into with Photoshop. But well, I think we'll go pretty far. Okay, so let's start with the first one. I asked on the assignment 1 that was posted in Blackboard for you to initially download an image that was on Blackboard and then open it up. So let me do that. I already downloaded it to my hard drive and it's put in my assignment 1 folder. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. So under the file menu, if we look under the file menu, we see there's a whole series of things. Next week we'll talk about how to create a new document, and this is where you'd go to create a new document. But this is also the place you go to open up an existing document. Okay, so and that's what we're going to do today. There's a few other options. Okay, but we'll get into it as we go further down the further into this session. Okay, so let me go ahead and open up. I'll click open, or you'll notice that on all the windows, I'm sorry, not all the windows, on all the menus on the far right hand side, there is a little squiggly and a letter, and sometimes two squigglies or two icons. Well, these are quick keys. So this icon refers to the command key on a Mac. So command N brings you to creates a new document. Command O opens a document. So as you get more and more familiar with Photoshop, you'll probably want to speed things up a bit, and you'll know how to work with these quick keys. Okay, or the keyboard shortcuts they call them too. Okay, so let me go to open, and there's my, let me scale down my open window so it fits the video cropping, and there it is. I click on the image and I click open, and there is the first existing image for you to explore a little bit. Okay, so I say in the Blackboard assignment just to explore the image menu. So let's do that. If you go up to the, my mouse isn't working. You go up to the image menu and you go down, you'll see that there's what's called mode. It's right off the bat, and that tells us what kind of color environment the file is in. Okay, generally RGB stands for red, green, and blue. That's a color mode for images destined for the web. Okay, so CMYK, which stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, are for images destined for print. Okay, grayscale just means there's shades of gray in the image. Okay, so I think one of the first things you were asked to do is to determine the mode, and so there it is right there. You were also asked to go to the image size and click on image size. And let me make that available in the cropped video frame. And we see that the size, the image size, is based on, there's a width and height. It's all in pixels. And remember, pixels are it's shortened for picture elements. Okay. You can also see what the resolution is in inches. Okay. I'm sorry, not the resolution, the image size in inches. Okay. But generally, pixels are, especially for images that are destined for the web, it's based on pixels. Okay, and then the resolution is just how fine the image is. And generally, 72 dpi images are sufficient for the web, whereas if you're going to be printing an image, it needs to be 300 pixels per inch or dots per inch. Okay, and so that's where you get that information. You'll notice that if I change this to inches, okay, and say I change the resolution from 144 to 72, okay, you'll notice that what happens is that the resolution, if I have the resample clicked, selected, I just get a coarser resolution. Okay, let me go back to 144. Okay, if I unclick the resample, or basically deselect it, and I change this to, maybe I'll change that back to 72. Okay, we'll notice that the resolution is more coarse, but basically from 172, from 72 to 144, it's basically double. Okay, so so the image size is doubled. Okay, so, and let me go back to 144. Okay, and then I'll hit OK. No, I'll just say cancel. So that's where you go to get the information about the image size and the mode. But while we're under the image menu, I'm going to ask that you guys spend a bit of time, maybe an hour or two or more, just exploring what these different other options are. Okay, we're going to spend some time with some of these things, like say adjustments, for example, or color contrast or tone contrast. Okay. However, you can explore. Part of learning anything is just explore it and then let it sink in. And then next time we come back to it, you'll be familiar with it. Okay. So image rotation, for example, we could just click 180 and the image gets rotated 180 degrees. Well, that's not a big deal, but it's good to know that that's where you go. So anything that pertains to the image is under the image menu. Okay, so let me you know what, I've been doing this for so long that I know that the undo command is Command Z. So I always hit Command Z, but if you forget what the Command Z is, you can always undo your rotation or whatever action you just performed just under the edit menu. Okay, so let me go undo. Okay, and you'll notice that undo is also Command Z. Redo is Shift Command Z. So anyway, so that's good to know. So a few more shortcuts. Okay, Command N, Command O, Command Z. Okay. All right, and so that does it for the first assignment. And like I said on the first class, this really is going to be an independent class, and you're gonna really get as much out of it as you put into it. So I mean, people say that all the time. I know, but when we get into more complex assignments and projects, it'll be clear who's done their work and who hasn't. So give yourself the time to do some open-ended exploration and really focus on it, because that's how we're really going to wrap our heads around how Photoshop works. All right, so the next video will be about assignment 2. All right, see you then.